All right. What is going on, guys? It is Gaijin Films, and today I just want to go ahead and talk about the Sony FX6 and why I believe it is one of the best cameras out, if not the best at the very moment, in the past couple of years and currently right now. This beast here, this is currently how I have it rigged up. I would just want to shoot earlier today, and I just carried it out like this because, the V-mount and all that shit and the monitor and all that jazz. So let me just give a little deep dive on why I believe this is one of the best cameras out that you can buy today. Honestly, the form factor is a huge part in why I titled the video what it is because you get the professional look and you get the professional performance out of it in any given scenario. You could be working on a film set, you could be working, by yourself, documentary shooting, music videos, you could be shooting like absolutely anything, just personal projects, and it gives you the flexibility to go further in your career. So if you're someone who is, coming from a DSLR and you're looking for a camera that can grow with you in your career and your aspirations and where you're trying to go with things, if you're taking filmmaking seriously, I highly recommend the Sony FX6. I'm not trying to sell the camera, okay? I'm not sponsored by Sony, but I'm just letting you know, I'm saying this because it's this thing has changed, the way that I shoot. It has changed opportunities. It's changed just so many different aspects on how I film. Now here's the thing. I understand a lot of people were complaining about the top handle. Oh, I take the top handle off, I don't have audio, blah, blah, blah. I get it. That's completely understandable. It's a great argument. But one of the things that I've used to kind of compensate for that is the Atomos Ninja 5. Now, if you're somebody like myself and you have the ability to have the Atomos Ninja 5, you have, as you may know, a built-in mic line port here. And I, like many of us, am someone who has a Rode Wireless Go microphone. Now, if you have that, you can plug that into the mic line here, and you can pick up audio straight from your monitor. So if you have a card that you can attach to your monitor, I have the Angelbird card, you can record audio straight to your monitor. You don't even need this audio thing, and unless you're doing, again, if you're doing a professional shoot, then yes, I would highly recommend you keep this top handle on so you can have a good XLR port and XLR microphone. That's needed, I understand. But if you're shooting for a client, you're doing an interview, half the time we're using lav mics, we're using wireless mics, stuff like that. So you have the ability to plug that into this as well. And they also have certain adapters that you can use for the camera that will attach to it. And you can get that same type of port, but without having the top handle on it as well. So there's so many different workarounds around it, and there's so many different things that you can do with this camera. And I've just been loving it. I love the conversations and the opportunities that it brings up. And half the time when I'm going out and I'm shooting with it, I know it's definitely not something that should it should happen, but it just opens up a lot more things and conversations with people you wouldn't have conversations with prior to having just a regular DSLR. And it really gives you that sort of confidence going into a shoot, knowing that your client trusts you and they are giving you the full range of doing whatever the hell, that you want to do pretty much. And I really enjoyed that because I'm someone who's coming from an A7R II when I very first started. And it was definitely a learning curve coming into something like this. But the learning curve isn't that big of a gap because a lot of people say it's really hard to understand the system and everything like that. And I understand, it can be, especially when it comes to the audio and everything like that. But here's the thing, it's really not that different from a DSLR because of the fact of it's pretty much a DSLR's settings slapped on the side of this giant box. And you can just access everything you need right on the side here. So it's really not too complicated. I've really loved the workflow with it. And I feel like it just grows with you as a filmmaker. Because as filmmakers, we want to basically progress in our field and be able to be open to many different opportunities. And right now I'm working on a short film project. Charlie, if you're watching this video, shout out to you, my man. That basically give you the opportunity to work with other filmmakers, other DPs and stuff like that, and be able to have SDI outports. That's huge on a film set. You need to have SDI. You need to be able to, broadcast if you're doing shooting for a news network or anything like that. It is so important to have the SDI out, time code, a remote jack and everything like that. So HDMI is, it's pretty much standard nowadays, but you know, it gives you more flexibility, and the build of the camera, the weight of it and everything, it really does help a lot when it comes to long-term shooting. Because if you're shooting on a camera that doesn't have fans, you don't want to be shooting for a client and you're like, oh, you're 2-3 hours in, 4 hours in, and your camera just overheats. Why are you here? It doesn't make sense. So, you know, having that flexibility, having that comfort, that's the main thing. You're paying for that comfort. You're paying for the body itself. You're paying for the things that basically it gives you. Like, it can be expensive. I understand this. But at the same time, you're investing in your future, you're investing in your career, you're investing in your knowledge. There's so many different things that go along with it. And to be able to network with people and put yourself in positions that you wouldn't be able to have access to before. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's about you as a filmmaker, not the gear. And I always try to say this, it's not about the gear, it's about you and with the camera that you have. The best camera is the camera that you have. And so many people say that, but it's so true. But don't limit yourself to just what you have. Always try to strive forward and build and build and build to be able to acquire certain things that you wouldn't have access to before. Even if when it comes down to renting gear. Renting gear is completely fine. I know somebody who rents all of his gear and he doesn't have anything, like he doesn't own a single camera. He just rents every single camera for every job. And I think that's crazy. Like, it's not crazy, but it's just like, it's so cool knowing that, like, if there's something you want to do, you're going to find a way to do it. You know what I mean? In the best way. So I just wanted to touch up on the Sony FX6. This might be a pretty quick video, but right now I'm just gonna go over my build. I have the Cam TV cage over top of this. I have the Indy Pro 98 watt-hour lithium battery on the back here. The Atomos Ninja 5 used with a Atomos Ninja, well, it's not an Atomos Ninja, but it's an Atomos HDMI cable connected to the monitor along to the HDMI port here on the FX6 as well. Side mount here, and a Rokinon 35mm lens. I'm gonna be getting some anamorphic lenses to go along with this, the new Siri anamorphic lens, like the second version of their anamorphic line or whatever. And they're actually like full frame, so I'm not gonna have to like crop in as much. So I'm really excited to show you guys that footage and what we're gonna be doing with that. So yeah, I have a whole new team now, Charlie, Tasha, Kendall. I am like so grateful for you guys being in my life and being able to work with you guys. All these guys are so talented, and I'm so excited to show you guys and bring them on the channel as well and just talk about different aspects, because there's more to filmmaking than just, you know, not just filmmaking, but just the industry in general. You know, if you're someone who's creative, there's writing, there's, you know, being a stylist, there's being hairstylist, there's being, you know, photography, there's lighting, grip. You guys know all this, but, you know, there's so many different aspects and avenues that you can get into. And now, you know, just touching up on that, I know we're getting off topic here, but the Sony FX6, you guys already get it. It's an amazing camera. But I want to use this opportunity to talk to you guys about, you know, when it comes to getting into the industry, something I'm realizing is just that no matter what you want to do, there's always a way to get into the field that you want to get into. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to put yourself in certain positions to get certain things that you want. Not to say that in a sneaky way or anything, but like, don't be afraid to, like, you know, use your voice, speak up for yourself. Not everybody in this industry is going to be like, you know, on it. Not everybody knows everything, and it's okay for that. You know, don't let anybody intimidate you or make you feel inferior in the fact that, you know, oh, I've never been to the studio. Oh, I've never been to this location. Oh, I'm not too sure about what, you know, this, that, and the third. That's okay. We all started there. We all started from that place. So there's no way you're gonna learn unless you do. You know, you can read 1,000 books, you can watch 1,000 videos, but you're never gonna learn unless you put yourself in the position of the thing that you don't know. And I hope that makes sense. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not sponsored by these people, but I do want to give my honest opinion on it, and I shoot on this thing all the time. And I'm starting to transition from my A7S III to this camera a lot more frequently. So a lot of you guys liked the very last video that I posted, and I got some DMs on Instagram about like my camera setup and what I'm shooting with and everything recently. So I am going to be posting a lot more updates on my shoots and keeping you guys in the loop of my gear and everything like that. And I'm really, really, really excited to get back to this. I know I've been away for a while. It's been a while since I've done one of these types of videos, but dude, your boy's back. Mentally, physically, spiritually, everything. I'm on the game. And yeah, I'm really excited to get back into this and show you guys what's been going on and some of the products here coming up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This camera, I feel like, is the best camera you can get for your money right now, especially like based off the price of a lot of other cameras like the Blackmagics. Listen, the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras are amazing cameras, don't get me wrong. I love them. They're just ugly.